right, guys, welcome back. I wanted to give you just a quick insight on how easy this little piece of titanium is going to be to install. Now, this is from my good buddy Ken over at Salmon River Solutions, and just what a freaking piece of art this thing really is. I think this is going to really take off a lot of that initial recoil. Not that the 6.5 has a lot of recoil, but that when you are trying to sight in and shoot at 100, 500, 1,000, like we're going to do in the finale, you need something to quickly stay on that trail of your bullet, so you can record it and see where you're hitting. So super easy. I just wanted to show you the tools you needed to install this. Is a simple crescent wrench, adjustable wrench, and some painter's tape. Now, Ken has an awesome video on his website. Go check it out, salmonriversolutions.com. And he recommends that you do or don't have to put a little bit of medium strength Loctite on the threads of the barrel. And I'll show you how easy this thing cams over. So this is this has a timing nut on it. So we've already put this onto the threads and gotten it flushed up. So all you do is you flush up this timing nut, which is out of titanium. Oh, by the way, this model is called the Little Chub, and it's a dual port. I mean, it's just, the machining on this is just absolutely killer, and it looks like it would be super heavy, but this thing weighs just mere ounces. I mean, it's incredible what this weighs. Let's get this installed. It's freaking hot out here. It is the end of August in Georgia, and I'm dying. So let's go ahead and get this on here. So what we'll do is we've got our gun unloaded and checked. We're going to put just the tiniest amount of Loctite on the end of these threads here, just barely. I like this Permatex stuff pretty good. It's pretty slick, gets right in these grooves, and it's not going to take much. Obviously, this barrel is going to get hot and shot and all that good stuff, so not a whole lot at all, pretty much just like that. And what Ken suggests is the package that his brake comes in has a cardboard little hanger for his packaging, and you can use that. I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this up on the brake, because this thing is, like I said, it's really, really nice to have when it looks nice and pretty. So we're going to leave it like that, and I'm going to put just a little bit of tape on here, but not enough to where I can't see the timing of this thing, but just enough where I'm not scratching it. So maybe 2 or 3 trips around, we're going to call that good, and where I can still see the flat. So that is perfect. So all we do now, this is real time, guys, no editing here. We're going to install this brake so you guys can see. Let's see here. All right, so just like that. So all you do is you put this thing on, and you'll notice when the rifle is perfectly perpendicular here, my flats are not lined up. So the ports are like this, the rifle is this way. A little bit better view there. So all you do, the magic of this thing, is you hold the timing nut, back this out until it is level. Whoops. So the timing nut, and we're going to back this off until it's where we want it. Now, the trick here is when you play with it, you got to know how far you've got to go to cam this over. It's not going to take much, because you'll notice we don't have a crush washer. You're literally on the collar of the barrel, the shoulder right there. So you want to just barely get this. Now, it's not going to take very much here. Get this all the way. Wow, that is like it was made for it. Wow, I mean, that is all I got on that wrench here, so we are not quite there. just like that, I used a little piece for reference of like my center point I was trying to get to. I know Ken in his video uses a level, which once I get my bipod, we can always check it on that flat. But I also used as point of reference this sling swivel stud right here to this flat as well. And we are on the freaking money. Now, keep in mind, guys, this will drive you crazy trying to get this just perfect. Now, as long as your flats are 90 degrees, you know, perfect with the side of your rifle, kicking the gas out to the left and right, because it's a dual port, you're going to be fine. It's not going to affect your bullet travel or anything. But as you can see, I mean, there's zero gap here. What a beautiful piece of titanium that Ken turns out. He's got a full lineup of brakes and accessories and those ARCA rails systems, so go check him out. Salmon River Solutions SRS on Instagram, and he will get you hooked up. Tell him Mojo sent you. And let's get back to the range video. Or well, first let's go ahead and get this stuff installed. Probably one of the last times you guys will see this rifle without some glass on it. But what a beautiful, beautiful addition to the build. And shout out to Ken over at SRS. We are in the final assembly stages of the Savage 110 Carbon build. I'm sorry for the congestion. I've got a little bit of a cold. Went goose hunting the other day for the opener and cut some grass. I think that's got me all coming down with it. Anyway, this is the packaging you get. I went with the MOE bipod by Magpul. I thought for the money, that this one runs about 69 bucks off Amazon. For just a straight QD swivel mount. It's pretty easy to use. Looks like it's a really simple operation. I went with the polymer. The other one that they sell is a aluminum construction, but this one, if you're going for lightweight, this one's like 8 ounces or something like that. Has a sling swivel stud, a really easy operation to tighten this down on the existing swivel stud on the Savage rifle, and the flat dark earth camo matches almost identically to the rifle. So this thing really looks like it was made to be here. So let's go ahead and put this on. This is the first time I've ever messed with this. So let's see if we can secure this on the first go. So it looks like you got to rotate this out to the maximum position, which we just did. Yep, that's a lot better. All right. Let's go ahead and get this thing centered up here. See if it will grab it like I'm thinking it will. Yeah, okay. So not a whole lot to it. Not really want to wrench this down, but man, that is a solid lockup. Looks like you could use this on either the front or the rear swivel stud. I'm choosing to use the front. Man, that is really nice. I really do like that lockup. The quick release here, very positive. And just like that, now we don't have to look like a bunch of cavemen trying to get this thing put together here. So I got a nice rear bag, courtesy of my late grandfather. Love that. He did a lot of bench shooting in his later years that I got to be a part of. And so the whole reason we're doing this part now is so I have a firm foundation to attach the piece that we got from this 20 MOA rail from the fine folks at EGW. We use their mount systems for everything from my 20 gauge turkey gun build, micro red dot. This is actually the first pick rail that I've ever had the pleasure to work with, but their stuff is so nice. The machining, the quality, the material, I mean, it is bar none way better than what you're going to get from any factory gun. So that's going to sit up on there. Comes with this applied, let's see, like a Torx bit. Yeah, this is a T10 made in the USA, their own size screws. Now, it did come with a couple packs of screws, and it tells you, it's got great instructions on which to use, you know, versus what receiver you have. These are going to be locked in at a 20 inch-pounds. So the Wheeler torque wrench is going to be perfect. Savage, short action, 20 MOA. Now, this was very important for this project. So in a short explanation from a non-long range shooter, this is shorter in the front, higher in the rear, so it cants your optic down ever so slightly, you know, really not enough for the human eye to see, but just slightly enough to where you're gonna be able to have more adjustment up. So if you're gonna push this gun out to 1,000 yards, you need all the tips and tricks in the bag that you can have a hold of. So to give your scope more elevation adjustment, 20 MOA rail is highly recommended off of the forums and the advice from other shooters that I've gotten on social media. So that's going to be perfect. 20 MOA rail, we're going to get this installed. I'm going to do a wet install. So basically, back in the day, people used to put Bondo in here and bed this, kind of like bedding a chassis into a like the stock and barrel in action together. They used to fill this up with some kind of compound and do all this crazy stuff. We're not going to do that. I'm going to just slather the bottom of this with some Vibratite red. This is not thread locker. Well, kind of, sort of, but really just used to fill that gap in space to make sure we get a firm seat, the rail to the action. Of course, we're going to witness mark these, and then we're going to also put the blue 242 Loctite medium thread locker on the screws going into the action as well. So let's go ahead and walk you through that process. Super easy, super nice to have this bipod, because as you'll notice, I don't have a gun vise. I've never had long range projects before, so I've never had to use one. I usually just use a tabletop here, but this is going to come in handy so I can get this on and properly torque these on the gun. So let's get started, and we'll see what happens. All right, well, I'm sorry guys, I thought I filmed me actually torquing these down, but I'll walk you through the process anyway. I actually just torqued them down. All you'll want to do is you will want to, which I'll tell you what I did exactly in the steps here, but let's reverse this just a little bit. So I went through and I torqued these to 10 foot-pounds with the T10 first, and I went inside to outside on the gun, and then I went and cranked it up to 20. So I went through, did the same thing again, went to 20 inch-pounds, just like that on the 20 mark. And I went through and inside, outside, 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 which hope that makes sense. I went inside here, outside, outside. Then I went through and went, you know, torqued them again. They are completely good. They are going to set up now. So if you're going to plan on doing this before you go shoot, give it a couple of days, 24 hours at least, to cure up, get that stuff in there. That's what I recommend. Don't do this. Go immediately to the range. Let this gun heat up, or put any kind of oil in here that will seep into those screw holes. Let that stuff set up completely, and you'll be good to go. So the last thing we have to do is set up these Arkin rails. I went with Arkin because they have a machine face. You don't have to lap these like an old school ring. So we're going to put these on here. Make sure my AccuStock is set and good to go with this length of pull and the comb riser that this stock comes with. And that's pretty much it, guys. We're going to finish off the build going up to the gunsmith, because I do not have the tools to make sure this is level. Get the scope rings where I want it, fit it to me, level, and bore sight the new Veracity PH by Burris. It's going to be awesome. So we've got the TI Little Chub mini brake on here. Shout out to Ken Trout. They guys are freaking beast. Huge supporter of the channel. EGW, this is the Hunter 20 MOA Picatinny rail. Great instructions as always. Those guys at EGW are freaking amazing. We've got the Magpul MOA bipod. Highly recommend this. If you have the Flat Dark Road Savage, it matches mirror image. Maybe off just the most slightest bit, but to the naked eye, it looks freaking awesome. And as always, guys, we'll catch you on the next one. Stay tuned. The grand finale, we're going to go up to Spencer, Tennessee to the Dead Zero Shooting Park, and we're going to push this bad boy out to 1,000 yards. So you guys don't want to miss it. We're going to get this scope mounted up in the next video, get me and my cousin Parker out there, shoot this thing at 1,000, and see what we can do. Just from a novice to 1,000 yards with this piece of hardware, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. So guys, tune in to the YouTube channel. IG page, MojoBuck80. Shoot me a message. Let me know what you thought about the build so far. And if you like these videos, and like we said earlier, guys, catch us on the next one.